9th June 1935. Talk 52. A man from Canada asked, "My mind remains clear for 2 or 3 days and turns dull for the next 2 or 3 days, and so it alternates. What is it due to?" Maharishi. It is quite natural. It is the play of brightness, sattva, activity, rajas, and darkness, tamas, alternate. Do not regret the tamas, but when sattva comes into play, hold on to it fast and make the best of it. Devotee. What is the heart? Maharishi. It is the seed, if such could be said of it, of the self. Devotee. Is it the physical heart? Maharishi. No. It is the seed wherefrom I arises. Devotee. What becomes of the jiva after death? Maharishi. The question is not appropriate for a jiva now living. A disembodied jiva may ask me, if convenient. In the meantime, let the embodied jiva solve its present problem and find who he is. Who he is. There will be an end of such doubts. Devotee. What is dhyana? Maharishi. The word dhyana usually signifies meditation on some object, whereas nididhyasana is used for inquiry into the self. The triads persist until the self is realized. Dhyana and nididhyasana are the same so far as the aspirant is concerned, because they involve trinity and are synonymous with bhakti. Devotee. How should dhyana be practiced? Maharishi. Dhyana serves to concentrate the mind. The predominant idea keeps off all others. Dhyana varies according to the individual. It may be on an aspect of God, on a mantra, or on the self, etc. 15th June 1935. Talk 53. A young man, Mr. Novels, came for darshan. He had read Paul Brunton's 2 books. He asked the Buddhists say that I is unreal, where Paul Brunton in the Secret Path tells us to get over the I thought and reach the state of I which is true. Maharishi. There are supposed to be 2 I's. The one is lower and unreal, of which all are aware, and the other, the higher and the real, which is to be realized. You are not aware of yourself while asleep. You are aware in wakefulness. Waking, you say that you were asleep. You didn't know it in the deep sleep state. So then the idea of diversity has arisen along with the body consciousness. The body consciousness arose at some particular moment. It has origin and end. What originates must be something. What is that something? It is the I consciousness. Who am I? Whence am I? On finding the source, you realize the state of absolute consciousness. Devotee. Who is this I? It seems to be only a continuum of sense impression. The Buddhist idea seems to be so too. Maharishi. The world is not external. The impressions cannot have an outer origin, because the world can be cognized only by consciousness. The world doesn't say that it exists. It is your impression. Even so, this impression is not consistent and not unbroken. In deep sleep, the world is not cognized, and so it exists not for a sleeping man. Therefore, the world is the sequence of the ego. Find out the ego. The finding of its source is the final goal. Devotee. I believe that we should not inflict suffering on other lives. Should we then endure the mosquito bite and submit to it also? Maharishi. You do not like to suffer yourself. How can you inflict suffering on others? Just keep off mosquitoes, since you suffer by their stings. Devotee. Is it right that we kill other lives, that is mosquitoes, bugs? Maharishi. Everyone is a suicide. The eternal, blissful, and natural state has been smothered by this life of ignorance. In this way, the present life is due to the killing of the eternal, pristine being. Is it not a case of suicide? So then everyone is a suicide. Why worry about murders and killing? In the course of a later talk, the visitor said The world, sense impression, and I awake.